what we thought Raw on Netflix was going to be like.
You don't deserve shit. The fuck do you mean your title? This belongs to the real not fucking fake wannabe like you.
Okay, you guys are going to get me in trouble with this shit. Yeah, I thought, remember there was that conversation how we all thought that like Raw on Netflix was going to be, I'm taking this out, Raw on Netflix was going to be like all like cursing, like F this, F that, saying the fuck word and stuff like that. And then they still bleep stuff out. They're getting better at bleeping out the crowd. Like they know the cadence of like when people chant "you fucked up" or "holy shit." They know the cadence, and so it's easier to bleep it. But yeah, I remember that old conversation. We thought Raw on Netflix was going to be just super R-rated, and then it's not. I don't think it was ever going to be like this, though. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. Go to full screen. There we go. Welcome back to when I get on Reddit and I just react to shit that I see on Reddit. I was going to do the Reddit juice stuff, but there's not a whole lot going on. Like, look at this. You guys are going to get me in trouble here. From A Creed 6. What is Rhea doing? Wrong answers only. I'm afraid even to click on this thing right here. I'm not gonna. I'll do it, but like I don't. What is this? Pulling out the dynamite diamond ring. That's actually pretty good. Her best Gold Dust impression. What is this? El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. is now Dr. Wagner Jr. the third. Wait, no, not Dr. Wagner Jr. the third. He's Dr. Wagner the third. So El Hijo, Dr. Wagner. So Dr. Wagner Jr. is the second Dr. Wagner. El Hijo was the third, so now he's appropriately Dr. Wagner the third. That is awesome. I am very glad about that. At Alianzas, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. officially renamed himself Dr. Wagner the third. It's going to be weird not saying the Junior after the Wagner, though. Dr. Wagner the third. Or is it Dr. Wagner Trace? Again, I'm going to be stuck in this situation where I don't know what the appropriate thing to say is. It's one of three things. Dr. Wagner the third, Dr. Wagner 3, or Dr. Wagner Trace. You guys let me know in the comments which one it is, because I'm going to get it wrong regardless of what you guys tell me. So there you go. Dragula says, what is this? What would be a terrible pay-per-view premium live event name, and what would be the main event of it? Let's see here. Great Balls of Fire, and whatever the main event for Great Balls of Fire was. I maintain wrestling needs more stupid names like Great Balls of Fire. They need more of that. What move is Zelina doing to Julia? Okay, again, you get A Creed, you gotta be less. Be less. All right, I'm gonna head over to the squared circle and see what's going on over there. Squared circle. Here we go. Let's see here. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kota Ibushi. You guys trying to get me copyright stricken? There's only 3 minutes of this match, really? Danielson. What does Danielson have to say? If AEW wouldn't have started, would Cody Rhodes be where he is right now? No, they have a megastar because AEW exists. Would CM Punk ever come back? Probably not. AEW existing and being this challenger brand and being as successful as we've been has changed the landscape for wrestling and for the wrestlers themselves. Wrestlers are being paid more now than ever from a sports rights perspective. So, example, in most major sports in the United States, players getting anywhere between 40 to 50% of the revenue. WWE is paying their wrestlers nowhere near close to that. Now, keep in mind, they're still not paying anywhere close to that, but they do have to pay more because if they don't, the talent's going to leave and go to AEW. AEW does pay that 40 to 50% of their revenue, despite making much less money. I think the number one, that's actually a really good point in terms of this is why WWE does not want AEW to exist. And it's also an illustration as to why WWE should absolutely want AEW to exist. Number one, the salary thing, right? WWE wants to be able to control how much wrestlers make so that wrestlers can't have that leverage to go elsewhere. That's just normal business. That's just normal. It's like, yeah, they're gonna want to pay their wrestlers not as much money. Remember back in like 2019, WWE was shilling out like shit tons of money to their wrestlers not to go to AEW. Like people super low in the totem pole were getting outrageous sums just so that AEW wouldn't be able to load up on names that had been established in WWE. Well, it works both ways. Cody Rhodes absolutely would not be Cody Rhodes today. WWE would not be able to make as much money off of Cody Rhodes if he was not in AEW first. because that's where he sort of he rebuilt himself. He made AEW, made himself into a big deal, and then he came to WWE and has, been shot to the moon ever since then. WWE saw, oh, this would work here in WWE because it wasn't really working in AEW, but it totally would work in WWE, and then it did work in WWE. WWE should want AEW to exist at the very least as kind of like a farm system, right? Where people can go there, they can build their brand, they can make themselves like a big deal, and then they can come, and hit that, kind of AEW ceiling, I guess, and then come over to WWE, and it's like, oh my God, because everybody, remember the Attitude Era and the Monday Night War, everybody loved when somebody from the other place would come over to this place, or vice versa. Like Chris Jericho. It was like a big deal. It's like, oh my God, what are they going to look like here? What are they going to do here? So in that respect, given that if you look especially at like NXT and like what they're doing in the men's division there's not a whole lot going on. Like they would have a better chance at success for their future if they're able to steal dudes like Ospreay or maybe Hangman or Swerve. But like they seem to really enjoy being in AEW, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But still, I'm sure there will be people who are built up in AEW that WWE be fine being like, hey, you built up your shit there. It's going to be a big deal when you come over here, as opposed to we've got like 3 dudes in NXT because like the call-ups really, like literally the last call-ups that they had, I think was like Braun Breaker and Ilya Dragunov, like from the men's division, right? And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, yes, WWE, more than anything, they want to control wrestler salaries in the industry. And so that's why they would want AEW to be gone. But given that AEW is not going anywhere, they should at least be happy that, hey, you know what? We have a place where ideally they can build them up over there and then we could just steal them. And they'll be made stars, already done. Don't have to worry about, us building up people in NXT. Here's Maven saying, I sat and watched Tony for 30 minutes, and every wrestler that came out of that ring, he got it from his producing chair, took his headphones off, made sure every one of them is healthy and happy with the match they just had. You can tell when someone cares. You know what? Good on Maven. Maven has like built a whole like post-wrestling career on his YouTube channel, just being positive dude. Like sometimes he'll have kind of like, clickbaity or controversial thumbnails where it's like, oh, I confronted this wrestler who tried to get me fired. And then it's just, he makes amends with Perry Saturn. He helps get Perry Saturn some like positive, fucking exposure. So like, good on Maven. I love Maven. I think he's great. Like, I'm shocked that like more people haven't really, I know there have been some wrestlers, but like Maven's like way of doing YouTube is so successful. And I feel like it'd be a kind of an easily copyable blueprint that I feel like more wrestlers should probably take advantage of, or at the very least, more like, content producers should approach those wrestlers and try to do the Maven approach. Maybe I should try that at some point. I'm tired of talking on camera. Too Cold Scorpio wrestling at 59 years old. Holy shit, look at that. God, he's 59. Look at it. He can still do, oh my gosh. That's crazy that he can still do that flipping leg drop thing. Jeez, that's crazy. AJ Lee and Roxanne Perez reunited over a decade later. Jeez, Roxanne's a little baby right there. I wish I would have gotten a picture of me like this, but like in my mid-20s with like, I don't know, Alberto Del Rio. Me hugging him like this back when Alberto was popular in the WWE. Man, poor Alberto. I'm not going to say poor Alberto. He kind of seems like a creep. But man, he got done wrong by WWE. He had a good thing going in AAA. And then WWE randomly decides to come buy the company and kick him out. He got done wrong there, man. CM Punk with AJ Lee. You know, man, I swear to God, if we do not get an AJ style CM Punk feud in AJ's last run, what the fuck? How is it that Punk's been with the company this long and AJ and him, I think they had like one tag match or like something like that, but they have never had on television like a one-on-one match. What the hell is up with that? All right, I'm back on the Reddit juice now. Appropriate List 2857 says, without watching this video, I like arguing with myself about this idea. So this comes from the Stephanie McMahon podcast. And Roman Reigns was saying about how it was a lot easier back during the Attitude Era when there were less constraints to chug some beers, throw up some middle fingers and talk about, sticking people's stuff up asses. And then Stephanie makes a joke about, because Roman says something like, oh, it's real easy to, talk about sticking stuff up people's asses. And then Stephanie says it's actually pretty hard to put stuff up people's asses. And then they start laughing about it. But Appropriate Ear says, on one hand, they had the freedom of being raunchy and vulgar, doing a lot of cool shit, whereas today's WWE is so advertiser forward and corporate that they couldn't get themselves over in the same way. It's much harder. At the same point, they had to swim through shit and get themselves over, as Roman and a lot. Okay, he continues on, but I get the point. I've always kind of felt like top talent is top talent for a reason. Like, there's a reason The Rock was as big as he was and then was able to cross over. I think that The Rock, if he was, 25, 26 or whatever in today's era, he'd still be the top guy under those same constraints. Same thing about Steve Austin. He just had a charisma once he unlocked that Stone Cold character. He had a charisma that even if you dial back, the beer drinking, which I kind of feel like as long as it was like a sponsor, like Real American, I feel like Steve Austin would have still been fine. And like, you can still flip the middle finger. It's not like he said fuck on television or shit on television, which you can actually do today. Steve Austin, you can strip away, the more raunchy elements of the Attitude Era and still have Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think much would really change for today's, wrestling scene. So I don't know. I feel like there was plenty of people back then that was doing the same stuff, that was doing the raunchy stuff that just didn't get over also. So I don't know. I do feel like Roman Reigns, yes, they probably, because of the lack of restraints or constraints, I should say, they had an easier opportunity to get over as opposed to today where you can't do a lot of the stuff that would be considered edgy, I guess. But that being said, you still rely on the charisma. You still rely on, can you connect with the crowd? And I think that even if somebody is able to say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, you're not going to be able to connect with the crowd unless you learn how to do that, unless you have that charisma, unless you have the experience and the promo skills and the wrestling ability to connect with the crowd. It's all still about that. But yes, I do think that for certain people that would thrive without those constraints, it would be difficult for them today. But the bottom line is Roman Reigns had such a hard time of it because for 10 years, Vince McMahon thought he was something that he wasn't. Vince McMahon was pulling the strings. Vince McMahon's creative led to shit like Suffer and Succotash. And as Roman Reigns himself has said, he didn't have the fuck you money to say no until 2020, when he finally put his foot down and said, okay, if I'm going to come back, we're going to do it this way. So I don't know. I feel like The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, if they were that age that they were in 1998, here in 2025, they would still be the most popular people on the roster by a long shot. Those were singular personalities that I feel would thrive in any era whatsoever. So I don't know. That's what I think about it. Anyways, that's my trip through the Reddit world, universe, whatever Reddit is today. That's going to do it. I'm going to peter out this particular video and just ramble away and move the microphone away from me. I'm just going to take some water right now.